What's going on, guys? Your boy King Red Diamonds, and I'm back for another Nioh 2 video. In today's video, I'm going to be going over early and mid game builds, but not like a previous video I did. In the previous video I did, I went a little bit more in depth with it. This one, I'm just going to recommend to you an easier way to put together a early and mid game build. Okay, this is going to be an easier method. This is going to be a method where it's not going to give you the most powerful and optimal build, but it's going to start you off at a good point to where you'll feel as though, okay, the game is becoming a bit more easy. All right. So in that previous video that I talked about, oh, I didn't even do my thing. Like, comment, subscribe, guys, share it, get it out there. Appreciate you guys. Let's get into it. But um, what I did in my previous video when I talked about early and mid game builds is I pretty much told you about a grace called um, Benzaitin's Grace. Now, Grace is coming to effect when you hit Dream of the Demon. That is pretty much where you start to get divine gear and everything. So again, check out that video. It should be on my channel called Early to Mid Game Builds. But I told you about that grace. That grace is going to be pretty much your main go-to when you are putting together builds for early and mid game. Okay, if you do want to use another grace, it's perfectly fine. But in my opinion, I recommend Benzaitin because the ease of use and the power it provides you is pretty much unbeatable. So um, the next part of the build is I'm going to recommend coming to your dojo. So you come to your dojo and you have all of these missions right here, right? All these missions are available to you when you come to the dojo. Or if you're playing through the game and you pretty much unlock dojo missions as you go along, you want to complete these missions. Simply because a lot of these missions, they have bosses that drop armor sets, okay? And majority of the armor sets that these bosses drop correlate to a specific weapon. So for example, if we come to Master of the Dual Blades, that right there literally tells you exactly what kind of set that this person drops. They drop a dual sword set. So if you want to say dual swords is your main weapon that you want to use and you want to make an early to mid game build around the dual swords, you're going to pretty much find you a Benzaitin's Grace, get you some equipment that drops with that grace on it, and then you're going to come to your dojo. You're going to start up this mission, and you're going to fight this boss, or you're going to fight this person over and over and over and over again until this person drops a smithing text. And the smithing text is going to be one of two things. It is going to be a smithing text for his armor, and it is going to be a smithing text for whatever weapon that this person is using. Okay, if that weapon is a part of that person's armor set. So those are two separate drops you can get from one boss. All right. So majority of these bosses, they drop sets that correlate to the weapon that they are using. So if you're using a specific weapon, then that boss will drop a set that correlates to that specific weapon. Now, not all of them drop a weapon, but they do drop um, smithing texts that correlate to whatever weapon or whatever stat that you're mainly focusing on. So, for example, say you're using a switchglaive or a split staff, you will come to the 9 symbols. This is an Omeo set. So you know that the switchglaive and the split staff both scale with magic. So if you want to use those weapons and you're using a magic build, you will come to the 9 symbols of training mission, and you will fight the enemy, and you will get the Omeo Mage set, and that way you can start running your magic build. Okay, so this is pretty much where I would say if you're struggling trying to figure out how to make an early game build or what to use for a early to mid game build, come to your dojo, fight one of these bosses over and over and over again, gain the smithing text from them to craft their or to forge their set, and then you can start to put together your build. All right. So again, I'll use this as an example. So my main weapon is the dual sword. So I want the dual swords. This is what I want. I want to have a set that helps me with the dual swords. So boom, I go into the mission. I fight the boss. The boss drops the smithing text. I come to the blacksmith. I go to forge. I go to armor and weapon if I want to use his weapon as well. But I go to armor and I scroll down. I try to find the set because I just earned the smithing text. and then the set will pop up, and I just pretty much forge it. So boom, right here, Master Swordsman's Power. This is the dual sword set. As you can see, it comes with increased attack and defense of the dual swords, as well as Sign of the Cross damage. So I'm like, cool, this is something I need right now. This is what I want to use for my early game build. Boom. So now all I do is just forge it. I just forge it. I forge each piece, the head piece, the chest piece, the arms, the legs, the feet. I forge all of that, and now I have my, early to mid game build. Now, I did put a video out about what upgrades to use at your blacksmith. I also have a video where I go over what you do in the blacksmith. Once you have your set forged, then you're going to come over to temper, and you're going to pretty much temper all the special effects that you want to put on that piece of gear the way you want it, and then boom, you have your build. All right, so that's the advice I would give for if you want to make an early to mid game build, or if you're not sure what set to use, because there is no specific set that'll get you, an easy win. There isn't. Like, everything in the game is pretty well balanced. Now there are certain ways that you could make your build like OP, but that comes later on. And this game is all about grinding and farming and all that. So don't worry too much about trying to be a one-hit kill build when you still haven't even made it past Dream of the Demon. Okay, because you have two more difficulties after that, and then you have Depths of the Underworld. So you're not going to be, a one-hit kill, one-shotting enemies. You're not going to be that way when you're this late, when you're this early in the game. Okay, that's why it's called mid-game. It's early to mid-game. It's not even late game or end game, for that matter. So that's my advice. Come to the dojo. Choose a person that you're like, say, choose a person that holds the weapon that you want to use, and farm that person. And then once you get that person's set, you'll be good to go. All right. So hopefully this helped you out. If you do have more questions, feel free to ask me. I always try to get back to everybody who asks me questions as quickly as I possibly can. Appreciate you guys again for the support on the road to 2K. Like, comment, subscribe, and share the video to get it out there to help the boy get to that 2K. All right. Appreciate you guys. It's King Red Diamonds. I'm out of here.